When you think of Jesus, what comes to mind? For many, he is a figure of peace, kindness, and unparalleled wisdom. But have you ever considered Jesus as a radical? The term often conjures images of rebellion, societal change, and the challenging of norms, and that's exactly what Jesus embodied. He wasn't just a teacher or a healer. He was a revolutionary force whose love and compassion disrupted the status quo, inspiring transformation that continues to ripple across centuries. His actions were daring, breaking conventions, and redefining what it meant to live a life aligned with God's will. By challenging established traditions, he opened pathways for others to embrace a life of true freedom and connection to divine love. How Jesus defied societal norms. During his time on earth, Jesus' actions were far from ordinary. He consistently broke through the rigid societal norms and expectations of his day. By dining with tax collectors, engaging with outcasts, and healing on the Sabbath, he demonstrated that love and compassion transcend man-made boundaries. These actions were not mere gestures, but deliberate challenges to the systems of exclusion that dominated his culture, emphasizing that everyone, regardless of status, is deserving of God's love. Consider Mark 2:16-17, where the teachers of the law questioned Jesus for eating with sinners and tax collectors. His response was simple yet profound. "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners." Here, Jesus highlights a revolutionary truth. His mission was to serve those who were marginalized, not those who already felt secure in their righteousness. This was a direct affront to the religious elite, who often prioritized rules over relationships. One of the most striking examples of his radical love is found in Luke chapter 13, verses 10-17, where Jesus heals a woman on the Sabbath. Despite the religious leaders' outrage over breaking Sabbath law, Jesus prioritized compassion over legalism, saying, "Should not this woman, a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan has kept bound for 18 long years, be set free on the Sabbath day?" This act wasn't just about physical healing. It was a bold declaration that human need outweighs religious tradition. It served as a reminder that the heart of God's law is mercy, not blind adherence to rules. The courage to love without boundaries. Jesus' radical approach wasn't limited to isolated incidents. His entire ministry was a testament to unconditional love and inclusion. In a culture that placed immense importance on purity laws and social hierarchies, he reached out to the unclean, the unloved, and the unseen. His actions dismantled the barriers that divided people, showing that God's kingdom is open to all who seek it. Take, for instance, his encounter with the Samaritan woman at the well. John chapter 4, verses 1-26. Jews and Samaritans were bitter enemies, and men rarely spoke to women in such public settings. Yet Jesus engaged her in a deep theological conversation, offering her the living water of eternal life. This interaction shattered multiple barriers: gender, ethnicity, and religious division. It also demonstrated his ability to see beyond societal labels and address the spiritual needs of the individual. Similarly, Jesus' invitation to Zacchaeus, a despised tax collector, to come down from the sycamore tree and host him for dinner was an act of profound inclusivity. By associating with individuals labeled as sinners, Jesus underscored the transformative power of love and acceptance. His message was clear: no one is beyond the reach of grace. This encounter didn't just change Zacchaeus' life. It also challenged the community's perception of redemption and worthiness. Radical love in action. Lessons for today. In our modern world, where division often reigns supreme, Jesus' radical love serves as a powerful model. To follow in his footsteps means stepping out of our comfort zones, challenging our biases, and embracing those who may be different from us. It's a call to live intentionally, seeing every interaction as an opportunity to reflect God's love. Reflect on your daily actions. Take a moment to assess your daily interactions. Are there individuals or groups you subconsciously avoid? Following Jesus' example means actively reaching out to those who are marginalized, whether they're the lonely neighbor, the struggling coworker, or the person whose beliefs differ from your own. Small acts of kindness can make an enormous impact. Studies have shown that consistent small gestures, like offering a listening ear or sharing a meal, can significantly improve mental and emotional well-being, fostering a sense of belonging and community. Serve without expectation. True love, as demonstrated by Jesus, is selfless. It's about giving without expecting anything in return. Volunteer in your community, lend a listening ear, or simply offer a smile to someone who seems down. These simple gestures echo the radical compassion that Jesus showed throughout his life. Research supports the idea that acts of service not only benefit the recipient, but also enhance the giver's sense of purpose and happiness, creating a ripple effect of positivity. The transformative power of radical love. One of the most striking aspects of Jesus' love is its transformative power. It not only changes the lives of those who receive it, but also transforms the hearts of those who give it. When we choose to love radically, we participate in something much greater than ourselves. We become agents of change, breaking down barriers of prejudice, fear, and hatred. This transformation is evident in countless stories of individuals who chose to act selflessly, sparking movements of kindness and justice, building bridges in a divided world. In a world where division and hostility often take center stage, the teachings of Jesus challenge us to build bridges. His example encourages us to engage in dialogue, foster understanding, and seek common ground. Imagine the impact if each of us committed to loving as radically as Jesus did. Communities would heal, relationships would strengthen, and the world would become a more compassionate place. Data shows that societies with higher levels of empathy and cooperation tend to experience greater stability and prosperity. Love is a force for social change. Jesus' love wasn't just personal, it was deeply social. By addressing systemic injustices and advocating for the marginalized, he set the stage for societal transformation. Following his lead, we can use love as a powerful tool for change. Advocate for policies that promote equality, support organizations that uplift the underserved, and challenge systems that perpetuate injustice. In doing so, we continue Jesus' mission of manifesting God's kingdom on earth. Historical examples, such as the civil rights movement, underscore how love-driven activism can reshape entire societies. The call to radical action. Living out Jesus' radical love is not a passive endeavor, but a call to intentionality, courage, and going against the grain, as exemplified in Matthew 5:44, where he commands, "Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." This challenging teaching embodies the essence of radical love, breaking cycles of hatred and fostering opportunities for reconciliation. By choosing to forgive those we hold grudges against, making efforts to include those we've excluded, and speaking up against injustices in our communities, we can create meaningful change. Even small acts of love and advocacy can de-escalate conflicts, build understanding, and inspire broader movements toward healing and unity. The eternal impact of radical love. Jesus' radical love has had an eternal impact, inspiring countless individuals to live lives of service, compassion, and justice. From Mother Teresa's care for the destitute to Martin Luther King Jr.'s fight for civil rights, history is replete with examples of people who embraced Jesus' teachings to create lasting change. These figures remind us that radical love is not a relic of the past, but a living, breathing force capable of transforming our present and shaping our future. Today, we are called to continue that legacy. By choosing to love fiercely and serve selflessly, we honor Jesus' revolutionary path and contribute to a world that reflects his kingdom values. Radical love is not easy, but it is transformative. It challenges us to grow, to forgive, and to hope. Most importantly, it reminds us that no act of love is ever wasted. Modern psychology confirms that altruistic behaviors enrich our lives, leading to greater fulfillment and resilience. So, are you ready to embrace the radical love of Jesus? Begin today. Reach out to someone in need, Extend a hand of friendship and build bridges of understanding. Together, let's walk in Jesus' revolutionary footsteps and create a world that reflects the transformative power of love. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to share it with someone who might need encouragement. Let's spread the radical love of Jesus far and wide, inspiring hearts and transforming lives along the way. Before you go, make sure to hit like and subscribe button.